Hello, my name is Daniel Kindermann. I'm a product manager from the office in Aachen in Germany. Today, what we are going to show you today is a trial and really a test demo to the next level of the gaze detection demo you have seen or maybe will see inside with the V-Class into projection. What we have here is just a surface to display as a display and a touch interface to a PX2 NVIDIA drive board, so it's running on the solution is running on automotive grade platform, and we just use the microphone of this one. In front of me you see, one second, it's difficult in this spot here. In the front of me you will see an eye tracker, which is called Toby. It's an eye tracking sensor which is infrared based, and it's really used in the gaming industry, and you can put it on top of your screen, and then you have the gaze or head tracking detection. And in combination with the feature which we call Just Talk, the capability that we can listen all the time and understand the conversation and what is meant, when the system is meant it and understands it, we can bring certain information into the car about the surrounding area. Or we should. Let's say like this. It's demo, right? So
is it already listening? Or?
Yeah, you see the waves coming in, right?
Okay, so
and
that's...
this is when I'm talking. It's a bit from the GUI, it's a bit slow, but when I'm quiet.
So that's your visual.
Okay.
And it's only you. Is it recognizing that is it you?
No.
Or?
So since we are not in the V-Class where we do have the, this is a rental car, right? So we just plug everything in. We use the surface microphone, so it's recognizing everyone at the moment. It's one of the.
I see.
The limitation of this version. So we don't have the passenger interference cancellation (SSE) running in that sense.
In this case.
In this case, yeah.
But otherwise, you have.
In real solutions, it's easy to. I mean, for us, it's a no-brainer to implement this. So what we put in here is really PYs, and not private residences, and so only businesses we can ask questions for. So.
Bless you.
For example. What's the name of this business?
That is Hotel Lido Palace. This upscale 19th century hotel overlooks Lake Maggiore and the Borromean Islands.
So you see how important the Just Talk feature is in combination with the gaze, right? So the multimodality makes it really strong. Because this place is just a reference to something. And it knows, okay, I'm facing to this hotel in this case, and on this side, they say, okay, this is the position we are in, this is the direction we are driving, then we take the timestamps when we start to detect the speech, and then we can actually perform the query and get the information into the system. Just looking for my sunglasses.
Is it gonna work with sunglasses as well? Or?
Yeah, so right now we are using the, it should work, yeah, it should work. Anyways, if I don't have it right now, I don't have it.
Okay. So you didn't have to push anything, you were just talking?
Yes, you don't need the wake up word, or you don't need the push to talk button anymore, because the system's smart enough to understand when it's meant to do something and when not. And all of this is running embedded, so we are not connected, right? You see we're not connected.
Okay.
In the other demos you will see that there is the bar that we are connected. So it's all running embedded, and this is very important for data privacy, because in other case you would have to stream the audio all the time to the cloud, and this is not really good in that sense for personal data privacy.
In terms
What's the user rating of this business?
Villa and Palazzo Aminta Beauty and Spa has a user rating of 4.5 stars.
Sorry, when we pass buildings, I always will just ask some questions, but you can now.
Yeah, so for how long should you stare at some particular place so the gaze is recognized correctly?
I'm not sure about the exact timestamps, but it's really when you look at something. So gaze right now, or the solutions right now, putting all the timestamps and all the information into, let's say, a result box, right? It feeds everything into a result box, and as soon as we start talking, we have the timestamp from starting the speech, and then we take it. So gaze has to produce the data all the time, right? Because you never know when someone starts talking.
Yeah.
And when I would do like this, right, and ask the question, it potentially would not work, right? But I don't have to phase it very long. But maybe Isan, you know better how long I should phase it.
Yeah.
How long?
It actually depends on the speech duration and the processing time to understand that question, and then it will send to the center fusion, and we decide which period of time that requested the user requested for that, gather all the data and send the result back.
So it's seconds. But to answer the question, it's seconds. It's not.
Okay.
So what you're looking at, it's a match. You try
Yes.
to understand my phrase, you understand if I'm asking something about the business, then you analyze my gaze and you see if where I was looking there is effectively a business.
When we drive down here, there are some more places where we can ask something for.
But is it like a special data that you use for this, or
So we annotated all the data on the embedded side. So you have Yelp information and a combination of the here maps, right? Or the positions, right? The long information. So
Okay.
the streets and so on. But you just need to have a good interface into the navigation system in order to know exactly where the car is, and then you can take the map data to find the POIs and enrich the data with other providers. You can do, right? Because they always have different information.
And what's your experience with the design of the interface? So you have some waves there that, for example, now I'm talking, I see. Yeah,
No, but
recognize me.
just there's no SSE running, so
So
this
that's
is
just for me to know that the system is listening, right?
yes.
And okay, and what do you do to tell me that the system actually understood that I was talking to him? Do it. See already a flash.
Yep, the Just Talk feature. You talk about the Just Talk feature, right?
Yeah.
In that sense, I would kindly ask you. I will get back to your question.
Okay.
But let's do
Sure.
Yes.
the multimodality, because Just Talk, the focus is really will be in the V class, for example. There will be a lot of focus on the Just Talk and explanation
okay.
about this. So we just use this feature now to really
Yeah.
use this multimodality. And in the V class, you will see, let's say, the first step of multimodality with gaze and detection. This is the second step, the second phase, because we are driving around different speed positions, right, are not that controllable as they are in videos. But this is the second phase. There will be third, fourth, fifth phase until this is really finally perfectly optimized. But it's not far out. So in the next 2 years, we are going to bring this on the road with OEMs. It's not too far out in that sense.
How accurate it is if you have, let's say, 2 or 3 octaves in a row.
I mean, even if it's not that accurate, the dialogue will control this, right? And the dialogue will give you some information saying, did you mean this one? It was the highest priority based on the confidence scores, and then the dialogue will guide you through the information. I was not sure. Did you mean? And it depends, but it will be very accurate when we bring it onto the road, right? So, but let's continue.
Yep.
What is this place?
That is Urbano Yacht Club. It's a social club located opposite the Borromean Islands with stunning views. The historic clubhouse has a restaurant and a terrace bar overlooking the lake, ideal for events and social ceremonies.
So there's just some information, right, again, about the yacht club. So I just simply need to look to it and start talking, and then you have the timestamp and the matching of this information. Then you can provide information. But it's very important that you know which direction the car is facing and take really the speed you have into account. Because when you start sometimes talking and ask something, it might be that you pass it already then, right? And this makes it very complex. So it's not that simple in that sense. Even if it looks like it's a simple implementation, it's difficult. And so this is the second step. In the third step, we are going to implement more dialogues. This means that we can ask when is the last ferry going to this island, for example, or make a reservation in this restaurant for 4 people for tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. because I'm coming back here tomorrow for whatever reason. So this will be the third step indeed. But the more sensor information we have and the more autonomous the cars are going to be, the much more accurate the system is going to be. Because you have to learn what the lanes are, what the position is, in order to build the vector and the space and the direction you're looking at, right? So there's a lot of information needed in order to make this really accurate and robust. But we see this more and more coming, and in order to get more multimodalities in, like gaze, like gesture control, right? So saying what is this? You need to have the understanding of the whole environment, and then it's difficult if you say what is this, but you look at something. Did he mean now looking or not? If I do like this and say what is this, and then you say I have no idea, but when I say what is this restaurant or hotel, then you know, okay, potentially it's this restaurant or one of the restaurants in the area. If it's this side or this side, but you will get it, right? But as soon as it becomes more unclear what the request is, even for people, the more the deep and tight integration with all those engines is required in order to make sure that they feed the information to the right spots and you get the information from the right spots. And this is what the focus is on the next rounds of this. And we didn't do this now because we were talking. We can ask as well. Now we passed it completely because if I look back, the head tracker will not find it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
We can ask questions about the islands over there and some more hotels and places, right? So the whole area here we annotate embedded, so still kind of controlled, but with a lot of dynamic data we're producing while driving.
Okay.
The situation is a bit different, but the next steps will be soon. So we made it this now from January until today to a driving demo, and then the next steps are then really the dialogue enhancements and more content integration to make this really strong and robust from system perspective. Yeah, sorry. So we could have asked more questions, but I think the concept is clear. Or do we have some more questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Maybe downtown is a sum of items located here. So how to choose which shop is I want to see?
Yeah. So it's a good question. So while driving, the car will feed information about the position into this. Let's call it decision maker box or engine. So we have a box where gaze is feeding in information, so the tracking information we get, that long information, so the position of the car, the speed I'm driving, the direction I'm facing, all this will be fed into a box. Then we start talking, then we say, okay, at this time stamp it was this position, he was looking at this place when he started talking. And then maybe I ask them the questions about, let's say, not saying what is this place, but more accurate and say, what is the I don't know, what are the opening hours of this restaurant, for example. Then we know, okay, restaurant, but there is 3 shops which are really nearby, but one is a hair salon and one is I don't know, a supermarket and only one restaurant. So even then when gaze is not accurate, the voice will figure this out for me. But in case I say what is this place, then but if the system's not sure which one it was, it will give you a list to disambiguate from, but the highest one will be mentioned first. So then you have a pick list again. But this is really the UX, the user experience design you will choose and you will design. It's your design, and we bring the engines in and then we try to make this as robust as possible.
So how is the system now recognizing that you're not talking to it? Is it?
At this then again, it's just talk feature. So we have the language understanding, right?
Okay.
So what we do have here, we have at Nuance, we have in the DragonDrive framework, which is the embedded platform, we have what we call vertical domains. So we have music, navigation, weather, all of the domains we've implemented on the embedded side. In case we don't have connectivity, the system will understand, for example, how's the weather tomorrow? Do I need sunglasses tomorrow? Now it should say, sorry, I'm not connected, please try again later to find weather information. But anyway, so we've modeled all of those domains, and all of them have always an in-domain score and out-of-domain data. And the out-of-domain data is trained much more, so we understand what I'm doing now, long conversations and sentences, even if there are slots the NLU and the SR will find, we don't take them because we understand this is a conversation which is ongoing. And if you have 2 microphones, which we don't have in this scenario here, we will be able to listen to the conversation and understand, okay, do something and do nothing, right? But this will be more explained in sessions later today, and especially in the V class, because the focus here was really on the driving multimodality situation. And I think we have now a next group, so
Thank
sorry.
you.
Sorry.
Okay,
to-
good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I said it's running on the PX2 board.